Oh, camera. Maybe I should hit camera. Now we are streaming from the camera. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you did it.
Ray, do I have to call the meeting? The Nicholas.
Okay. All right. Gavin back in. Time is 2 minutes.
We're reconvening at 10:04.
We will now be reading the roll call, so everyone pay attention, please. President Mark Cohen. Here. Vice President Bridget Doyle.
Here.
Treasurer Patrick Darrow. Here. Secretary Morgan Wood. Chief of Staff Nicholas Simons. I am here. Deputy Chief of Staff Carolyn Sheridan.
Here.
Graduate Director Doctoral Granting Institutions Ashley Ann Suggles.
Here.
Undergraduate representation Representative for Doctoral Granting Institutions Colin Legato. Present. Representative McVeigh. Absent. Representative Christopher Ortega. Absent. University College Rep Nicole Pereira.
Here.
University College Rep Alex George. Here. University College Rep Connor Wolf.
Here.
Ag Tech Rep Catherine Hallman. Ag Tech Rep Daniel Wilhelm.
Present.
Community College Rep Joshua Boo. Community College Rep Leah Corio. Community College Rep Devin Armstrong. Here. Community College Rep Will Petit. Here. Community College Rep Tony Sparks. Chief of Staff for Student Affairs Robert Drum. Here. Senior Advisor for Board Policy Nick Butler. Assistant to the Vice President Ray Jackson. Assistant to the Secretary Jason Chung. Here. Director of Academic Affairs Edward Frono. Here. Director of Communications Monica Shabbat. Director of Legislative Affairs Ray Muniz. Here. Deputy Director of Communications Margaret Ketchum.
Here.
Press Secretary Tyler McNeil. Deputy Director of Academic Affairs Arthur Ramsey.
Present.
Deputy Director of Legislative Affairs Austin Ostro. Here. Chair of State Operated Campuses Michael Kimmer.
Acting.
Acting Chair. My mistake. Chair of Community College Campuses Joshua Berry. Chair of Military Affairs Laura Mould.
Here.
Acting Co-Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Victoria Lopez. Co-Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Jerry Estremada. Chair of the Sustainability Committee Olivia Sheffield. Chair of Campus Safety Amanda Reed. We have quorum.
All right. And with that, we do not have an agenda to approve, nor do we have minutes to approve. Is there any public comment from anybody? Okay.
I would move one thing. I just want to thank the members of the Communications Committee that I met with last night, Nicole Pereira, Deputy Director Ketchen, and also Representative Connor Holman, putting together some stuff on the website. We had some tech issues this past week that got rid of a lot of the content that was going to be uploaded later today. So I want to thank the three of them publicly for the work they did to put that together last night. That's all I would be able to.
Here.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the continuation of our business meeting agenda. Just open it up as a little straw poll. Does anybody have an urge to go back, including the directors, deputy directors, to legislative affairs and communications for any reason at all, to discuss anything? Does anybody have ideas, questions, comments, anything? Okay, then with that, we of course can go back if somebody thinks of something, but we will call Director Rafrano, Deputy Director Ramsey for the report on academic affairs. Do you have a thing to put up or no? It's okay if you don't. It's really fine.
It's on the Google Drive.
Yeah, oh, it's on the Google Drive. Okay.
One up here, or
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody need something to write on? Anybody?
Before I begin, as stated before, the report will be on Google Drive. All the general questions are answered within Drive. Membership list is on slide 2.
If you get the microphone, it's already on. No, not as very good.
That's on.
There we go.
Membership list is on slide 2. Committee meeting is on slides 3 and 4, and the goals of the committee are on slide 5. Our first meeting occurred towards the end of June. Many initiatives from the 2015-2016 academic year were discussed. Some were the fair unpaid internship, which called for SUNYSA and its campuses to establish fair practices regarding unpaid credit-bearing internships. The Applied Learning Steering Committee, this called SUNY to offer applied learning opportunities to every student enrolled in a degree program, which could possibly lead to a graduation requirement. Next was student representation on SUNY Task Force, which called for a larger acceptance of student involvement on SUNY Task Force, and a larger acceptance of the student involvement in a variety of committees. The last was an improvement on distant learning, which called to eliminate the bottleneck classes so to create education more accessible for students. I've been extremely lucky to have knowledgeable members of the Student Assembly help me in this process, so we can be more familiar with the beast that is academic affairs. In the same meeting, I also touched on several points of potential interest, and our committee located 2 potential points. The first initiative would be the transparency during course advising and course registration. And the second initiative would be improve distant learning. The need for the improvement in the transparency during course advising registration became more apparent during my meetings with provosts of SUNY Old Westbury, SUNY Farmingdale, and SUNY Stony Brook, because all had the same exact 3 problems: enrollment, retention, and graduation rate. The reason that some people may think that there's problems with enrollment, retention, and graduation rate could be because of possible difficulties in classes. Well, one main reason was established on those campuses, which are social economic reasons, which a high percentage of students work either part-time or full-time during their degrees, which eliminate study time and allow them to not do as well as they could. The reason for a transparency during course advising would allow students to know what to expect, also be able to have a list of materials and a list of estimated additional costs, so they would be able to track out their degree better. To improve the online education, that would eliminate the bottleneck classes, which would allow students to be able to achieve their degree faster and not have to wait that extra semester. Each of the campuses that I have visited showed a large interest in improving these areas and are willing to take part in surveys and take part in studies to have a test period. The largest improvement that I've had so far is with SUNY Westbury within the School of Liberal Arts. We're currently starting to track out a new format for transparency during course advising and registration. We are now putting syllabi on the Blackboard and also thinking of a new way to give professor reviews through the Scantron process so they're more truthful and reliable. In addition, the provosts at the other colleges have mentioned ideas of giving incentives to professors to put more classes online and also be able to give them more granting money for research. These are the reasons that we need to focus on for academic affairs, and I would hope that we would accept those as well. I'll be talking further with those goals with our academic affairs committee. Thank you. Any questions?
Can we talk a little bit more about the IT security policy?
IT security policy was a policy that was given by the system that wanted to have a larger security with personal information that students provide to the college. What occurred was the language in the policy could have been better. It didn't really specifically locate all the problems, but I hope that could be improved and that more information is specifically targeted within the policy.
I
interested in hearing a bit more about the distance learning piece that you were talking about. Is that? Sorry. Is that a provost initiative, or is that something that you're interested in That's one of my interests as a committee. That was one of my first interests. But then going to all the 3 campuses that I went to, they showed a lot of interest in bringing a better and more effective distance learning program.
And do you plan on making like a proposal on how to move forward? Or do you think it's better to work with the student system on something like that?
I would definitely like to put through a resolution to show our support, and then go from there and achieve that goal.
You mentioned fair practices on campuses for internships that are predatory. Can you talk a little bit more about the standards that you guys discussed in terms of determining what is fair?
I am correct. I believe that was Patrick's initiative last year. Yes.
So we passed this resolution last year. That basically called on SUNYSA to establish system-wide guidelines or recommendation written policy for standards to ensure that students were used as workers in credit fair and unpaid internships. In that resolution, we recommended a set of standards from the National Association for Colleges and Employers, which is a sort of an organization that brings together colleges and businesses to collaborate on these kind of things. That resolution was subsequently sent to all of the campuses throughout the system from the Applied Learning Steering Committee, and what my understanding became over the course of the year is that campuses largely, on their own right, follow these types of standards or similar ones. So for the most part, good practices are in place throughout the system, and we did get some pushback from the system on the ability to create a system-wide set of standards and policies and track them. So basically, what ended up happening was we were able to push out the conversation throughout the system and get feedback and make sure that it's something that was on all the campuses' radars, especially as they're expanding their applied learning on their campuses. But if that's something that your team wants to push harder on this year to try and push them to create a system-wide policy, I think that's fine. And if you have other priorities, I think that's fine too, because I think we made some progress last year by starting that conversation and making sure awareness is raised throughout the system. And I'm not sure if it's feasible to push soon to create the type of system-wide policy we were asking for originally. I'm just not sure where it is in your priorities. So that's kind of what that was and where it went. It's up to having this team this year, whether that falls in his top set of priorities.
Now we go through time discussion.
Yeah. That's good.
So thought occurs to me, which is that this could be appropriately housed in our new Board of Trustees committee as an object of discussion, then as a way to sort of circumvent pushback from system. Making it the topic of discussion from the board will not necessarily guarantee, but I think we have a much better chance of having a resolution from the board about fair practices that might ultimately impact the system.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and I think that it would fall right in line because I've articulated issues that will be brought before this committee or just general to things that affect students, but we even have having come to report, I made them aware that I'm rarely going to be the one to report on these things, and there will be other members of the executive committee and other student government leaders, so I think that falls right in line with the charge of what the committee is. I think it's a great idea.
So I think that's this particular issue probably belongs with the academic affairs committee, the board, which you're on, right? Yeah. But even beyond that, I'm really not sure that I agree that it's the type of issue. Among of all our issues, I'm not sure if it's this one is a top priority issue to the board. That's just my opinion. There's a lot of other stuff, and the university faculty senate created an internship guidebook last year through board can't really say much to community colleges about their standards for internships. So I'm not sure if this is the issue with the type of whole system that would necessitate moving to one. For me, it's a good suggestion.
I think at the very least, one, at the student life committee, and just so that everyone's aware, and Dr. Rose can answer questions on this too, the board, we are going to focus on issues in the student life committee that absolutely overlap with other committees. That's kind of the point. The point is to have one central place where we can discuss these issues of academic affairs, of communications, of whatever it might be. And I think at the very least, bringing it up as part of the report that I give, and asking for discussion, we don't need an actionable item on it, but having a conversation about it and bringing it up, I think would be worthwhile. And we can talk about it as it gets closer to September.
Sure, I just think that this could be part of a larger action, not necessarily an independent action when it comes to experiential learning, and given the fact that it's very soon going to be, or trending toward a requirement for graduation, like where it may not have been an enormous issue in the past in terms of the number of students it impacted, I think we're going to see over the course of the next few years that it's going to impact every student. So it becomes, in the future, more important than maybe it is now. A bit longitudinal.
I agree with that. I think that it's going to be a good question. I think that if we were going to bring something like this, if they decide to bring something like this to the trustees, we might want to wait for the conclusion of the extension pilot to see the feasibility. Just because if we are going to bypass the system with that goodness, then we should at least have a firm understanding of where they are actually.
I want to hear a little bit, and this is a legislative issue also, but in the realm of academic affairs, we can speak on it, or maybe Arthur can speak on it, open educational resources and textbooks and things, and how that relates to affordability.
I'll direct that to Hello, everyone. So since March, in March, SUNY System created the Open SUNY Textbook Advisory Council. It's not the first time they've done something like this. They've had a couple in the past. Former Secretary actually Tyree was a couple years ago. She used to serve on this. When they restarted, Tom Answer appointed me, Margaret appointed me following this election. As a student representative, we've met now 4 times, 3 as a full body, and once as just the executive board, which the student representative will sit on. We're creating our bylaws. Open SUNY textbooks are funded by the state. There's state grants. Some are from the state education department, some are from SUNY itself. And what it currently is it's a project being run out of Geneseo. Geneseo's library was the original, what we call principal investigator for the research grant. They're creating textbooks that professors can modify at their own choosing for their own courses. So it's effectively a template of a textbook that goes to that professor. They can add in a section, they can take out sections, and then they can use that textbook just for their one class without editing the overall. The primary benefit is that they are inexpensive. The cost range that we're working with right now is $10 to $20 per textbook per student. So when you sign up for a course that would be designated with an Open SUNY sort of annotation, you would have a $10 or $20 course fee instead of having to pay for textbooks outside. Instead of having to buy a textbook, rent a textbook. This is something that overall, through discussions I've had with a number of representatives, a number of members of the executive board, the cabinet, is supported by students. There's going to be a resolution later today that I'm presenting, asking all the representatives in the executive board to formally support the work that the Open SUNY Textbook Advisory Council is doing. It's right now really being spearheaded by faculty as the people that write textbooks and SUNY Press as the people who publish them. And they were very generous to ask for us to have a seat at the table. They wanted student input. We are also looking at involving CUNY in a sort of non-voting advisory role, and seeing if we can end up expanding Open SUNY textbooks to be used in CUNY classrooms as well. But it's not profit-based. It's specifically designed
students to get inexpensive textbooks that they can use for the duration of their semester, and their professors can really tailor to that individual course. Do you have any questions on the open textbook? I have a whole spiel on it later on. Okay.
So in the past, even at the state legislature level, open textbooks, open educational resources have been snagged with a lot of teacher union backlash and type deals. So how did since I'm not intimately involved with you, can you just speak with it?
Sure.
Remedy, faculty concerns that
Sure. So all of the authors of the currently existing, I think there are around 15 or 16, currently published open student textbooks, and they're going to be putting out another 15 or 16 in the next year and a half. All of the authors are SUNY faculty members that have agreed to really detailed set of guidelines for regarding intellectual property rights, because that is a big thing. As I mentioned before, most of the Open SUNY Textbook Advisory Council is composed of library faculty and instructional faculty. We have professors that teach education courses, professors that teach computer science courses, English courses. We have a number of library directors from Monroe, Geneseo, Buffalo State, I believe, a whole bunch of other campuses. There haven't been any significant issues with intellectual freedom that have come up yet because of, or the academic freedom of intellectual property rights because of the safeguards that have been put into place in previous years from SUNY Press. What happens is textbooks are written by the faculty, by SUNY faculty members, and they're edited by a pool of editors. Some are faculty, some are people that are professionals in the publishing field. And that's all administered by SUNY Press, which is located right in the street of SUNY System Administration. Does that answer your question?
somewhat. And so the essential point of this is so that multiple biology classes can use the same SUNY biology textbook.
Yes, so there will be, for instance, if we're using biology as an example, there will be an intro to biology course that is designed for general biology 1 courses. The individual professor can take that book, modify it to fit their 1 course without changing the master textbook.
So how does that look? What does that look like?
The
Because
professor
that
has,
seems to be kind of the answer.
so the professor has online tools that they can add sections in, take sections out, reorder parts of the textbook so that it really fits their class and their teaching style. The other thing that this really helps to eliminate is, and this really does apply to natural sciences and math, is for any textbooks that have like an online access code where you have to log into your homework. Those sometimes cost upwards of $200 per course, and they're not refundable. You can't get, you can't return it at the end of the semester. This really helps cut down those costs as well.
Right. Do you have any idea what the percentage of courses are that use open resources, or what the percentage of courses are that don't require students to purchase a physical textbook?
We don't have any data on that right now. We are hoping to collect data on that in the coming year. One of the goals that we discussed at our most recent meeting, which was just this last week, I was up here in Albany for that meeting, was setting up a system where every campus, we have some sort of central master list of what every campus uses to designate a course as an open student course. When you're registering for classes, you'll see designations for when a class meets, if it's a hybrid class or a fully online class or a fully in-person class. We're hoping to get a designation for open SUNY classes, and then get one designation system-wide, which will help us track in really, really simple fashion, or have a master list of what designations are used by which campuses, which will help us still collect the data. It'll take a little bit longer, but SUNY system does not have the power to regulate how individual campus registrars' offices designate courses. It's not something they've done in the past. So.
You follow? Yeah. Representative T.
Partially, previously you mentioned there was representation from Montreal, but I was just curious as to the location of involvement in this.
So that was
because, as community-based,
yes.
lower price colleges, it's sort of bigger. It's a more strenuous push in regards to affordability and keeping students resources.
Of course. One thing that I noticed earlier on when I was looking through who sits on the committee and really what the campus affiliation is, there's a lot of representation from university colleges and from community colleges. Most of the representatives on the committee are from community colleges. A lot of library directors, a lot of instructional technology faculty members. As of this most recent meeting, there are, I believe, 2 members of faculty from the University of Buffalo, which I think is the only doctoral granting institution that has membership right now. I do not remember off the top of my head if there are any ag tech sector representatives, but we are hoping to expand it to include all sectors and be more representative of all sectors, while recognizing that community colleges are really the base for keeping affordability low. Keeping affordability as a main point of community college education.
I have Robin's biggest list for Evan, but I think Pat has your follow-up question for Arthur.
Sure. Has there been any discussion of, in addition to promoting open textbooks, also creating open courseware and assessment tools and things like that throughout the system, or is this focused on textbooks?
There has been discussion about that with SUNY Press, but right now what we're focusing on as the advisory council is really just with open SUNY textbooks. We were formed with the request of the Chancellor of the Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor Jason to act as an advisory panel to Kim Scalzo, who's the Executive Director of Open SUNY, and her office, her team. So we're really only focusing on that because that's really all we have the authority to do. However, it is definitely still a discussion with open courseware and with other related issues to affordability with higher education and affordability with higher education materials.
So I put myself on speakers list to that question. My understanding of Open SUNY is that it's, when I hear Open SUNY, it's online. So I don't know what. So why is this just? Why can't this be? I'm not taking online courses. I'm taking courses you all, but I would love to pay $10 for a textbook. So why can't I pay $10 for it?
So you can. So Open SUNY and Open SUNY textbook partners, different things run under the same office. Open SUNY is online courses that are fully online. Some of those online SUNY courses use regular printed textbooks. Some of them use fully online materials, PDFs uploaded to Moodle, Reviews, Blackboard, whatever your campus may use. Open SUNY Textbook Project is the other end, which is developing textbooks that are online educational resources that can be used in either online courses, hybrid courses, or in-person courses.
So faculty has to agree to use these, and I'm just curious, have you gotten reactions from faculty in specific colleges?
So I don't have off the top of my head which colleges have. I know specific individuals. I can't remember each of their affiliations, but overall, I don't think we've received a single negative piece of feedback from faculty. Every faculty member that's been spoken to, or that has spoken out to us, says that they really do want this expanded. Faculty members don't really seem to care about the royalties that the textbook might produce 10 or 15 years later, because at that point, they've made the bulk of their money as the writer when they write it and when they publish it. So SUNY would be buying the textbook, the rights to the textbook from the author, subsidizing the cost, so the students are paying very low cost. Individual campuses or campus departments, and this is going to be in a presentation later as well, but for instance, all of us, the entirety of SUNY can buy into the Open SUNY Textbook Project as a partner member, and there are going to be 2 tiers of partner membership. The top tier gives the campus and its faculty members more freedom in rearranging materials. It gives them a lot more freedom in using it how they want, and that has a cost associated with it. The lower tier is free for faculty; they don't have to pay into it as a campus or as a department. But that can be bought into as the entire institution. It can be bought into as the Rockefeller School here at Albany can buy into it as a subdivision of the campus, or an individual academic department, like the English department can buy into it at the campus. And depending on who buys into it, those faculty members have the rights and the abilities to change things. But the lower tier will bring no cost to students or faculty. Yes.
That's a good question.
Another question for Arthur, then Rob has a question for.
Is there any update on what would happen if SUNYSA college loses their accreditation? There have been press seems to maybe that's a question for Dr. Groves as well.
So your question is,
What would happen if the school loses their accreditation as a officer? I know that is there. Nassau County Community College, what would happen if they lose their accreditation? I know there's a 60-day review panel in Middle States and said, okay, and they're looking into the bevy of issues that have been reported by their accreditation to make sure that they can retain it. What would happen, if anything, from our standpoint, as either an academic issue or a student government issue, if they lost their accreditation?
What happens with accreditation, and there's somebody from the federal grant who manages that, because I've asked this in relation to, forgetting now the campuses that weren't complying with certain things and they're changing academic. And what I'm told is it's very rare to lose accreditation in some Middle States. Lots of warnings, and people are given a lot of time to address that. So even in campuses where they're changing over lots of things, or losing presidents and whatnot, and a lot is given. If you'd like, in a future meeting, we can have Fred and Grant come and kind of talk what that means. But when I consulted with him about it, he said it doesn't happen very often.
and I asked a similar question, and just what Dr. Groves said, Middle States is not, and Dr. Groves, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like a gotcha organization, like, oh, we found out that you're wrong, now we're going to pull your accreditation. They really, really do their best to work, not only to give you the time, but to work with you, to offer you the resources you need. So it is a concern. I think it's a bigger issue in the press because it's kind of like a flashy issue. But I don't think it's as dire. It is a serious situation. I don't think it's as dire maybe as the press is making it out, such that they're going to be losing their accreditation in next week. I don't think it's like that, but we'll monitor it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at our upcoming.
You can look online, Middle States, look up any schools, the status of their accreditation, and what the reviews are. It's all public
Right.
information. Depends. If you're on probation, it's 5 years or 2 years. We do lots of different.
All right, good question. Any other questions, concerns, anything to do with academic affairs? Anything at all? Perfect.
Yeah, I would like to see academic affairs get shared governance and academic departments at some point. I know at the end of last year in Rockport, we started the policy to support setting all academic departments of colleges with these community colleges. So just we could establish something.
And we're working on that with Pat and Josh, are working on a community college resolution, and we'll for us to deal just with shared governance, and obviously a key point that we talk about at the board as well. So that's this. Anything else? All right. With that, thank you, Director Prano. Up next, we have diversity, equity, and inclusion. First, Chair Dumont will offer his report, and then I think we'll have a discussion with Burgundy about disability accommodations and a new sort of subcommittee that may be coming out of that discussion. And Bridget can touch on that as well. First, let's hear. It should be everybody has access to the draft. If you want to direct it, you want to. You can start it off.
Before we get one question, does anybody else notice themselves with this in the Wi-Fi? It's not
Just under, just now.
no, just for the sake of getting
I'm still on. I'm still on the Wi-Fi. Try to disconnect.
yeah, but Nick, we have the student.
I'm not. I'm using the guest just to monitor it. Actually, I would say disconnect and reconnect. If you don't get in, I'll go downstairs. Yeah, I'm on the same. Just to monitor.
else been disconnected from Wi-Fi?
No, there should be a room.
Everyone see well? My name is Harry Shannon. I'm the co-chair for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I know a little bit later today we will be confirming the second co-chair, as well as there's a recent resignation of the vice chair, but they fulfill that position with number. If I'm not mistaken. Start with the communication. For our department, so far we had a little slow beginning, and we had our first conference call at the end of last month, early this month. The purpose of the call was basically to just come together, share ideas, come up with common goals, and oversee for the future of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And during the call, actually, we realized that there's definitely a lot of research to be done for certain campuses, and also the history of the community of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want to really grasp what we have to do here for the next upcoming year. Now, externally, our external communication is going to be very, very crucial, in my opinion, to this community, because if we can't build transparency amongst all parties who care about diversity, equity, and inclusion, then we don't really have a diverse student, well, a please diverse student population. And then in the list here of communication that I plan to do, we're going to reach out to definitely SUNY CDO, Carlos Medina, SUNY campuses, CDOs or chief diversity officers for the campuses we already have, and student leaders such as SA or SJ officials or other multicultural student representatives. Just so we get everybody to be on the same page, we can kind of build a chain of communication so we can figure out to the meet of everything involved. Before our September meeting, I kind of really take the route of meeting people and build more transparency. So the first step is definitely gather information and set up meetings with the SUNY CEO of Carlos Medina to see his take on diversity, equity, and inclusion, what he feels like SUNYSA should be doing in order to build a stronger SUNY system, as well as what we can do for him to help his agenda. Also, check the progress of campuses hiring chief diversity officers. In the conference call, I realized that I know my campus and a few others have chief diversity officers, but all campuses don't. If you wouldn't mind, can you please raise your hand if your campus doesn't have a chief diversity officer? Doesn't. Well, one thing I want to do is just check and see what schools have chief diversity officers, also get that contact information. And for the campuses who don't, what can we do in order to promote for the campus also get a chief diversity officer in the months years to come? Now the next thing is gather information from SA officials. And actually go into the next goal too. Use the old outside model. Now, one thing I've learned about diversity, equity, and inclusion, faculty and administration, they do a decent job of understanding and trying to facilitate conversation and foster the diverse community. But I feel like a lot of that work comes from the students. We have to give them our perspective and our vision of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And one of the major things that I thought was amazing throughout my year last year was the SA presidency working with MSAC. I asked them, it was MSAC then, but we changed to ISAC group. And basically, it's a cultural student advisory council. And it's a council, I would say, 30 to 40 students, all representing every multicultural group that we have on this campus. And the chair of that committee is our director of intercultural affairs at Student Association. And the meetings were held monthly, he invited me every month, he invited me to the meetings every month. They talk about their needs or complaints or even things that they feel like they've done great this month or last month, just to kind of get the general sense of what's going on in our intercultural community. And I feel like that was a great channel in order to get that information to my office at the time. And we had a lot of work done for the outside because it was so cohesive. And I feel like if other schools could take this model of having the multicultural student leaders come together and actually talk about what they need and the things that they want to see for the social channel to campuses to let them be, so they can act more accordingly. Also, that can channel to how they us. But definitely one of the last goals before, all these goals before September meetings, the last goal before the September meetings is to build a stronger connection, communication with colleagues. Because I realized also that social media, email, Facebook, that's a major source to get your word out, especially on what is diversity that we have in our school system. So I have to work also communication so we can definitely put more releases out, photos out, videos out, things of that nature. And next goal, all these, the rest of these goals for the remainder of the presentations for after this September meeting, more of a year-long goal. But one of the first things that we discussed was the campus climate surveys for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, doing a bit of research, I know there's some campuses who implemented campus climate survey recently, and there's others who done it 2, 3, 4 years ago. I know New York was had theirs probably 08, 2010. But I feel like personally that those campus climate surveys should have some sort of student and presence. And we expect that we first have to identify, like the CDOs, identify what campuses have and don't have campus climate surveys. Examine the quality of the questions asked in the surveys. Some surveys, I've seen they ask questions, but do they really get the greatest response from the student? Will the student get the generic response, or get the actual response that at least I hope the university will get from the student? And then research the policies behind the campus climate survey to see if there's any policies that makes it biannual or annual or evergreen, because I feel like there's no continuous tradition of the campus climate survey as well. So diversity also the university will get the campus climate survey when we feel like it's time. Like this will be a little more structural organization in regards to that. And then now the main thing is analyze what each campus does with that information. If you can ask some main questions about the experience or about how they feel about a certain situation, but if you just hear them but don't act on what you heard, then you really didn't do that. And that's one of the major concerns with the university over that a lot of students came to me about was they say that faculty administration hears them, but when they hear them, they don't really act on the things that they heard. And they feel like okay, we've been heard, but still unsatisfied. And that's not a good feeling at all. And the last thing, the concept is to explore how we can go further. This campus climate survey and see what we can do to aid the university to make sure that students are certainly heard. Now, a big goal of mine for this committee is honestly bringing people together, because if you can't bring people together in diversity, equity, and inclusion community, then that's honestly, we're not going to do that at all. I don't see why we can't come together as a group from all different backgrounds and walks of life. And first step is open lines of communication. I know I'm using ISAC, we all be, like I said, all the way to the spread amongst all the campuses, and promote it, put up student government so they can implement in their schools. But also, what can we do to have a larger conversation? Because the older students can talk about the diversity issues, the younger students can talk about the diversity issues, the younger students talk about themselves. But there isn't an open forum or a platform in which everyone can talk about all of their different experiences at the different campuses. But this is something that people can start on forum or just a meeting just to get people together to understand, okay, like the Albany problem isn't just the Albany problem, it's something you guys are facing in Buffalo, etc. So you can see that most campuses and actually after speaking to many students from different campuses, you start to realize common trends and the things that they don't like or the things that they don't see done on their campus. So if the whole students can body together and know the main concerns, if you get a list of 3 to 5 main concerns at every single campus, we can really hone in what we have to get done. And I feel like the year will be much more organized because we have a goal to reach. Now, another thing about bringing people together that I feel like was to remember months. Everybody knows, and every year, every month is for another celebration, like February Black History Month, etc. And if our committee is doing anything during that month for programming or any type of awareness, we should definitely always be behind this member month. Always make sure that if we're not doing anything, we're always doing something. And we're always promoting what's going on in the training. And yesterday I had a great conversation back and forth on video call about the community council and trying to spice things up a bit or switching ideas. One of the things I thought was actually a really good idea was possibly even promoting collaborations amongst the community groups. For example, using this Black History Month as an example to me just because I know it so well. But for example, and you know, instead of just, of course, we promote African-American achievements and contributions to America, but also why can't we talk about Latinos and African-Americans collaboration and support for African-American history Month. So I don't know if you guys understand that, but basically, if not only do we have programming for this particular group that celebrated that month, but we can have other groups show a sign of support and collaborate on their events and talk about the history of their cultural collaborations, and also you can kind of see how certain people came together before we even tried to do it now. Because people, in this country now especially, is quite divisive, but I feel like it's been that way for a while, but we come together and really show that in SUNYSA and show what we do, then I guess people kind of see that people can come together and look back and support one another, regardless of who this is part of that month, etc. And have a link of the National Day Council of Culture every month and everything is celebrated each and every month, so we can keep documentation of that moving forward. Now, that's why part two is bringing people together, and honestly, these are my two biggest points, and that's bringing people together now. Students can easily get together with students, but it's the faculty administration, or anybody who works on campus, the police. How can we get all these people together and understand what's going on? Oh, I mean, I'm not sure if you forgot that. I'm sorry, guys. Bringing people together, part two. Now, when the provost came yesterday, he discussed a very important program that he hosted at student level last year when I was president, and I was a critical conversation. After the events incident that he kind of briefly spoke about, those are a real tough time we had in Albany. We wanted to see what can we do in order to get the students to work. So President Jones had an idea to have a critical conversation. We had a panel of faculty administration, and then we had a lot of round tables. The students sat around the round table, the faculty or administrator who was facilitating the conversation, kind of expressing their views on diversity, equity, inclusion, and how they see things, etc. But when I was in that conversation, I started to watch the conversations, and most of the conversations were vice versa. There was a lot of students telling that facilitator about their experiences of diversity, equity, inclusion. So students kind of took over the conversation. So that sparked the idea in which, while we had the critical conversations where faculty is facilitating conversations, where the students, in my opinion, have the most knowledge in regards to how they see diversity, equity, inclusion, the future of our campuses. So I decided to get together with a few student leaders and host with the student panel, student facilitators, and we had faculty administration, and we had contact with programs. We spoke to the deans of several schools, and we had a few faculty administration come to our critical conversation, and we got to tell them diversity of lives. And I felt like that was very powerful because a lot of students felt respected. Personally, felt respected. They felt like, okay, I've got the university to actually care about this much. And secondly, it broke down the values. You see faculty administrator, you see it as a professor, or as vice president of this, but you didn't get to meet Provost Stella as just Jim. And you got to talk to him about his problems, and talk to him about your problems, how you see things, and actually have him hear you, and actually give feedback, and actually make policies, work towards policies that fix the things that you're thinking about. And I feel like that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have a quick conversation. Now, that's something that, speaking to the current association president, that we're trying to do every year before this semester. But that's something that's been done in progress yesterday that we'd love to see done on a lot of different campuses across soon. Because that will get the students on a lot of different campuses to feel that respect, feel that appreciation, and feel heard. So they can say, okay, granted, the campus is exactly how it is right now, but they have to work. And you can say, it would be easy to hold the university accountable. Because most people say, oh, the university doesn't do this or that, or the third, fourth, but you never get to tell them. But now you told them. You all seen it, you all heard it, we even had coverage, papers, everybody, documentation of the event that happened. So the university can only say that they don't want concerns because they weren't friends. Now also, that goes to the police because this event wasn't just special for faculty administration, we actually invited police officers, the chief police came, police officers came as well. Because one of the major things a lot of people think is that, okay, campus doesn't have diverse faculty administration, so what can we do to hire the most diverse and the most, and at the end of the day, if you're in a town that's in the middle of nowhere and there's not a diverse community or etc., it's very hard to get people to work there and to really strive there. So my goal, honestly, not to really push the hiring of diverse faculty, the diversified minds, the faculty that they already have. And that was something that I thought of after the conversation because even speaking to the police chief, he even said like there's a lot of barriers into hiring diverse people. But what's the point of hiring diverse people if we still have, I guess, quote unquote, not right now, but people who still can use lessons and still use the training. So that was definitely an eye-opener. Now the last thing is challenging work. At SUNY, a lot of this is one of the most forward-thinking public higher education systems, while we at the forefront of diversity, equity, inclusion for the entire nation. I feel like that's something, especially communication and your outreach and your lane. I feel like diversity, equity, inclusion really can really benefit because if you social media, even a hashtag, a video, something to challenge other schools, other states to follow in the footsteps. And one of the major things, documentation. Everybody likes to see the work. So I would love to promote and I guess push the diverse programming that each campus does. So if campuses can find a way to document the report the things that they do, and as a community put all that stuff together, put it out in releases and videos that people see, and I really, like honestly, trigger some great change. Even make a lot of videos. I know in University of Oregon, we have podcasts, we have a lot of we have speakers here, we have a lot of places for students from all the books that come out. We get that on camera and we show that to people. You can show that, okay, as soon as you got it going on. And now we're influenced by these on encourage other schools and other states to follow the footsteps. And because I feel like a lot of people also don't know what diversity is. And was Ashley was name was today, she spoke. She actually made a great point in asking us what we see as diversity. Even when I was a kid, when I was growing up, somebody said, what's diversity? I think, oh, races. Like I said, I didn't think about gender, religion, sexual orientation, disabilities, disabilities, things like that. And I don't really think that's not plain out there information. So I don't really fault anyone for not knowing exactly what diversity is. But it's our job to let them know, especially the students and the next generation. We are obviously the next generation of our country. So if we don't have a good grasp of what diversity is, let me step into the real world, we need to stop. And being the representatives of the next generation, so we kind of like the leaders of the next generation in a sense. And if we don't get it together, we don't promote that for our constituents and people who represent, then when they graduate, we're just going to continue the cycle of divisiveness and bigotry and ignorance that honestly can't stand in the position. And honestly, I'll say it's also school, it's also SUNYSA, so it's honestly just that thing. Are there any questions or suggestions from the president?
So I'm really curious about what you have discussed about sort of like the other groups you just mentioned. So religious freedom, class, gender, sexual orientation. Something that's a big concern for me is having a safe space to, let's say, like non-dominant, let's say the word, for people to worship. So like religious, and I think that's a concern. Some people it's a concern. Obviously, we own the space for people of different religions to worship, and there's other problems LGBTQ rights and things of that nature. So I'm just wondering what else you were planning to discuss.
That would be a great point. It's something I definitely need more research into, especially a place where everyone can commercial. But actually, even college, 20 kilometers. And this is what the only liberal community college is a very promoted and very popular place where the place of worship at. And the funny thing is, on the outside of it, it's a lot of symbols that represent all different religions and backgrounds come together. And that honestly was built in probably the 1700s, early 1800s. And it's a beautiful thing that centuries ago, people thought about coming together to worship. Because especially now, it's such a hard thing to grasp now, but back then they had to together and they built a place to worship on campus for a lot of kids to come to. From my experience, I don't believe Albany has a common place where everyone's worship like research on it, but I definitely want to jot that down so as a committee we can talk about what policies or resolutions that we pass and all to push.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if you knew, that's what I was trying to
Yeah, I
do,
did.
how that has gone, because for our school it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And so I think that's like what we're talking about, we're a transitional group, so I just like to
So basically, all we did was ask our student union if we could delegate a room for, we're actually trying to, now I'm actually trying to get a bigger room because I think it's too small. If we just got a room and we put it, now the issue is actually promoting it. Getting the room is not that hard if you just need one room, you don't have to pay it, you don't have to do anything with it. But the promotion of the room and to make sure people who worship know that it's there has been the problem.
Yes. So we don't even have a room space, and it's getting our faculty to realize how important it is.
Yeah, that's our
To how
issue.
good our schools react.
Because stepping into this position, one of the biggest things God is doing is the passion and pride in it. It's something I've noted. Something about the church and all this pride initiative that we're taking on as a community now. I would love to continue to see through the weekend. Are there any more questions?
You were talking about community college. This is something that may be pushed for other campuses, but on my campus, when they renovated one of the housing units recently, they put an interfaith worship space on the first floor of the housing unit. So maybe that's something that if any campuses are looking to renovate any housing, maybe that's something we can push them to include in that renovation. Something to consider.
I very much look forward to the resolution that we do already have, making sure that, obviously we're just getting started, but throughout the course of the year, working to promote that resolution, make campuses aware so that if somebody's on the verge of doing something like that, they can move forward with the confidence to know that we stand behind them, and we'll help them with whatever resources we can. So maybe progress in that throughout the year.
Any other questions? Suggestions?
Last year, campus safety and DEI teamed up a lot to work on gender-inclusive facilities, housing, and restrooms on every single campus. Is that initiative still in interest of the committee?
Definitely, because in the progression, and honestly, one of the main things that we discussed here and go over the team's president, really push for that, and to see the reaction from students, a lot of people, when we have inclusive bathrooms, I don't see why we can't have that same with the web and the campus. That's the main thing about it. First of all, the rest of the inclusion, you have to look at this community in a lot of different scopes. You can't look at it as one person, one way. That's why I actually like the community makeup, because we'll also diversify my mind, my leadership, and make me think of a lot of different ways of students. So definitely think facilities is definitely to push.
You spoke a lot about having more diverse programming on our campuses and pushing that a lot, and that's great, I love it. But what would you like to do internally in our own organization to ensure that we're having these conversations and we're improving our own programming, such as at our calls and conferences?
Actually, let's actually good idea. Actually, spark that. I know we have the fall and the spring conferences. I don't know what was on CT to do about certain times and education. Even if we can have that same, especially people who come to the conferences, we can have that same conversation on Zoom. I would actually really appreciate that. Because I know the conferences, a lot of student leaders and faculty administration do attend and they do speak and they do want to hear the things that we feel and the things that the way we see things. And if we had that same conversation, we have a similar setup and have the faculty administration come in and I see that same thing speak and end up with experiences at the time and what's going on the campus. That actually be really good. And it will also bring us together as a body, let us kind of get together and to list and jot down our different concerns are also so the administration can actually understand what's really going on in regards to what's going on.
Wrapping up the conversation, do you get the same people to come to these conversations periodically, or is it new people constantly?
But we only been done 2 times.
Okay.
The first time it was done by the university. The second time it was done by the city government. The first time sad thing is the first time when the university did it, I feel like it was a high attendance, 5 to 10 students. But then again, you have great means to get the word out than we did. But the second time, we were actually very different group of students because the initial curriculum conversation, they didn't have students who were really engaged or really understood what was going on. We were people who just came because they know if you got a class, they were critical conversation with each other. But with our workshop system, our focus was faculty, and we wanted I wouldn't say the best, but the most engaged, especially for coach with student leaders, it was like the best of the best honestly in that room, speaking their heart, didn't filter anything, and it was a great conversation. Because in order for you to have a conversation that's critical, one, you have to be mature, you have to be willing to hear opposite views, a lot of different things. So some students aren't ready to just have a conversation like that. And that's one of the things that worries me a lot is that some people take things personal or they get offended on certain comments. Make a Northview girls like as a community, as a society, so like that you need to know how to clash ideas and how to take somebody's criticism and somebody else's idea, think about it and respond. So with the critical conversation, when we do it in the fall, I'm already a freshman and so forth. I feel like it all starts, like we said, the grandpa, it starts with people who come in because they be able to have a tradition. I've actually decided that outside of the community, I've actually been speaking to the pros and to a few people because, you know, I don't know, a lot of you can't just have freshmen, some of them. Now, a lot of people come to SUNY schools, they come from communities in which they never got to begin or understand diverse individuals or things of that nature. So I know the freshman seminar class, they had to take one of these courses. So why can't they do a course of diversity or a course of inclusion or a course to kind of understand what's going on in people's lives? And I feel like you learn that lesson as a freshman. When you become a senior, you will be so into the game of diversity and inclusion, understanding everyone's concerns. You honestly can only make good contributions to society. I'm not perfect.
I can do that.
Yeah, no, I was going to do that. So. Anything?
Yeah, this is just something that's been out there. You mentioned programming at conference. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but I would love to see us do something at our conferences geared toward trying to get more students from underrepresented groups to run for the student assembly office and do our representative committee. So maybe something to discuss in your committee is how to do that at conference, like the workshop of some kind, like how to do it. Like, I'm not sure exactly how to do it.
That's a good idea. Also, that's something I feel like we're doing.
I have an issue. I mean, that's very true, that we need to get more underrepresented students. But to run, we need to get underrepresented students involved, period. Because they aren't at all, as you can look around and see. So, the issue can't start there. It has to start with actually promoting SUNY to students and get them involved just in SUNYSA. A lot of people don't even know what SUNYSA is in general. So like to get underrepresented students really be the issue, which is why I think that we need to have some type of outreach initiative towards underrepresented students, because it's an issue throughout SUNY that people don't talk about.
Yeah, so, and I have a concern along the same lines. As a white male who grew up in a suburban neighborhood, I'm often looked at as someone you do not represent diversity in any way. You're not you are the majority, not the minority. But I'm Jewish, and I've faced discrimination, I've faced anti-Semitism, I've faced issues. But that's sort of the same way of invisible disabilities. That's sort of an invisible, diverse sort of issue. That I'm of a religion that you brought up religion, but how can we convey to our people to get people involved? But how can we convey to our membership that you don't need to be black to be diverse? You don't need to have a physical disability to be diverse. There are invisible disabilities. There are, Ray Muniz is a diverse individual. You wouldn't recognize that just by looking at him, but it's the truth. And him and I have had this conversation where we get offended when people say, what do you represent? You're not diverse. You're not represented. And it's sort of discouraging for me. And as you can tell, I'm passionate. It gets me angry because I don't like being looked at, and I don't like that people are so so narrow-minded when it comes to diversity. They ignore Tom Mastro had an invisible disability, and he was, and somebody claimed you don't care about disability accommodations. I have a disability accommodation. Lori Mold is a non-traditional student. She, but just because she's white doesn't mean she's not. I mean, and of course she's a woman, but just because she's white doesn't mean she's not a minority. And this is something that I'm so passionate about, ensuring that we are recognizing that diversity is everywhere. That we don't just look around and see, oh, I see all these white people. They're not diverse. You've got incarcerated people. You've got people from various backgrounds who need to be represented, who need to be understood that they have diversity in their blood. They are a diverse person. Just because they're not a person of color doesn't mean they're not diverse. And I need to see some way that we can convey that way. That diversity is such a beautiful thing, that it represents the full spectrum. And if there's a way that we can do that, I think that we would have had a successful year in diversity.
Actually, that's one of the things that's in my report, and I think it's really important that we work together, our committees collaborate, and that we have a panel discussion at both of our conferences that goes into exactly that, because people think race is the only part of diversity, and it's not. There are so many factors that go into that, especially now as we're going and making that's the only way we can do it. And I think we need to reach out to people within the Albany area that are professionals, that have a background in this, and go into the different types of disabilities and bring those people to the table. Even if we did a town hall meeting, maybe one night, I don't know. I know we're so crammed with what we need to do, but this is such an important issue that to do it for just a 45-minute period, you can't cram diversity, equity, and inclusion on all the factors that go into it in a 45-minute period. Maybe we need to do something separate where we do a town hall meeting when we do our town hall meetings. Do something related around diversity at each single one of our town hall meetings this year, and get people from those communities that are going to come in and talk about what's, even regionally, the diverse issues regionally and what affects each community are so entirely different than what it is, say, Albany versus the North Country versus Buffalo versus Syracuse.
All right, so I've got Burgundy, Morgan, Josh, and Jordan. Anybody else want to speak or MC? I'm sorry. So it'll be Burgundy first, Morgan, Kimber, Josh, Jordan. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Burgundy. Yeah.
So, I do agree that I recently did some industry videos that has we are all leaders. However, one thing I learned a lot, especially in my internship assignment, is that there is very much hierarchy with diversity. And so, while we all think you're able to perspectives, it's also important to realize that they aren't all identities, we also have privileges. So, because of that, it is sometimes difficult to say that even though we are diverse in one area, and we're at the minority in one area, we are still privileged in other areas. For example, me, I'm a woman, I'm also physical disability, and a few other identities. But just because I'm diverse in that perspective doesn't mean I, am familiar with the types of bad things. It's definitely a responsibility. We all come from people, and we're all diverse, and we all have different identities, but we also have privileges within those identities that would make it hard for us to represent everyone.
Morgan.
Okay, so everyone here, I don't know how loud to go, but I went to the United States Women this year, and I promise this has a connection. And I went to this real talk about diversity and inclusion. I took notes on it, and I have my phone. And Gloria Steinem and Shonda Rhimes spoke, and they talked about the quote that stood out to me. I think like we could all benefit was Shonda Rhimes and Gloria Steinem said the same thing. Don't make someone the only one in the room. So like I think we're all kind of saying the same thing. Like we don't want our diverse. We all come from diverse backgrounds, but you also don't want to be in a situation where you feel like you have to speak for someone. So I think as a community,
mean, I just wanted to say that is an excellent point that you made, and I agree 100%. I feel like I've had like the same struggle trying to convey that message to people in my own student government, and the fact that you have that opinion and that view, that perspective on things is diversity in and of itself, and I feel like diversity of opinions and diversity of perspectives is something that isn't really valued as much as it should be. I don't know, that's something that should be emphasized.
Very. I'm picturing a video of sort of like Dear World, like we did, right? Except it's everyone talking about their unique diversity, but also focusing on the benefit. You know, what is a different angle to look at it so that it can be an advantage and it's not, negative. I don't know, maybe something for conference, or I'm sure there's someone out there that does that.
Well, we could do
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You set up a camera.
I just bought a nice new camera if someone knows how to work it. Yeah.
That's what my parents say when they get a new cell phone, you know how to work it.
Yeah, here, it's awesome. Here, show me.
Jordan. Okay, there's a few people. Okay, so you go.
Okay. Ray and I actually had a really interesting conversation last night about socioeconomic status and how everything deals with that. Everything goes back to the socioeconomic. But no matter what, in every shape, way, or form, whatever you do, it always reflects because of that's where you're from. It's how you live. It's interesting when you say diversity. I always think of, yes, in your being, you are diverse regardless because everyone's from diverse backgrounds. But social norm and social mindset is not diverse. That's the issue within institutions as big as SUNY, as big as the government, as big as the world. Social norms aren't diverse. Subconscious is not diverse. You don't think to include and to be inclusive in your mind. So regardless of who's sitting in the room and who's at the table and who has diverse feelings, it would be the actual institutional social mindset that would have to change to be diverse. It wouldn't have to be adding more underrepresented groups or giving them a seat at the table if the institution itself doesn't recognize the diversity in it. So that's
I was just going to say, in terms of programming, what we're all talking about right now is intersectionality and identity. And I think it would be really interesting to incorporate this in any kind of discussion as Lori suggested, where we bring together people of all different identities. Because as we're all recognizing at the same time right now, it's, you can be a woman and also be, a member of the LGBT community, and that experience is completely different as being a woman who's straight. So, bringing together those intersectional identities at conference would make for a really interesting panel discussion. We actually did that for last week in Australia. We talked about the experiences of trans people of color, of homosexual people of color, and all different identities, where they talk about their unique set of experiences that I would experience, as a white woman. So it'd be great to incorporate this in conference. I think this is all really great dialogue that we just had. I think we're all on the same wavelength with that.
Going along with that, what you said, creating a video that we can deal with, I don't know the logistics of that, where we release it to our student body, showing them that we are, just making them realize that. All we're talking about is awareness, really, and not just for our executive board, but, I think that's a great idea, so.
Okay, Lori, then.
One of the things also when you're looking at doing that, why couldn't our reps push out to our campuses to get an idea from the student body what their idea of diversity is and have them send that information? Like Josh said, this is what he thinks of diversity, and then kind of filter, maybe do a diversity page on Cobalt or something like that, and get a feel of what our students are actually thinking what diversity is.
Yeah, so I think a really great initiative for the committee would be to investigate how we can kind of spread the use of critical conversations. I think they've been very successful for us. I think one of the uphill battles that we face sometimes is not that we don't want to have these discussions, but we don't sometimes have the vernacular or the understanding to go about having these conversations. So I think we have incredible resources as student leaders. I think all of us are an incredible resource, but also we have access to system administration, which has a humongous number of resources to offer students on campus. And I wonder if there's a way that we can connect our student governments to the resources that we have in order to have these conversations on campuses more common.
And then I would.
Are you aware of the opening doors people? Do you know what that is? It's an organization that does ally training and marginalized training on campuses just to so it teaches people how to facilitate those conversations. Basically, we have them in Rockport, and we have something like critical conversations we've been having for the last year called community conversation. But yeah, so it's pretty much it's the same thing where students and our chief diversity officer now will be facilitating these meetings. That's why I asked you earlier because we have an issue with getting new people to come.
And I think along those lines of engagement, Jordan, you brought up a great point. And maybe, so we're working as all the reps know because Rob and Josh been harassing them, we're working to get SGA leadership, their contact information. What if Jerry's his committee worked to get contact information for gender and sexuality resource centers, and disability resource centers, and multicultural resource centers, and the sexual violence resource center, and work to try and get the contact information for those on each campus, master list, so that we can reach out. And we don't have to say, hey, run for president of the student assembly or become co-chair, but we can say, come to our conference, engage, we are coming to your campus, come and engage in this discussion. I think that would be a really great thing if we could work on a listserv, and then engage student government, intercultural, multicultural, gender and sexuality resource, gender and sexuality concerns, things like that. So that's a great idea, and I think they're very implementable.
I've been jotting down as everybody. I'm kind of going to go to the some I know Bridget mentioned something that I really want to do in the group months. It's something about the dual experience. For example, like women's history, we want to talk about the LGBT movement and things of that nature because like, we don't talk about how we went to collab mainly because we almost give sort of tools to life for one person inside the program. And now one thing that you mentioned, Jordan, about the institution, I guess that's one of the biggest things that I guess I feel passionate about because even when I sit down and think about why all this stuff is happening, and you think about what's really the answer. And you think, okay, it's basically a system of institution, which is why I feel like this job and this community is so crucial now because like I said before, we're college students. We're going to inherit this world in the next 20, 30 years. Everybody who goes to school are all going to be the top of whatever, etc. And if we don't educate, because I don't think it's not going to happen tomorrow, it's not going to happen in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's that tradition and culture that existed in the early 1900s, the 1960s, 1950s. Those are the people who came up from times who are on top of the institution right now. And I feel like the millennials now become those people in 20, 30 years from now, and I feel like we have a lot of effective change. But if we don't take action now and educate and really inform each other now, then this is going to be a cycle of repeat. So that's the major thing now, and that's what we do to make sure that we get every single person. Now, somebody mentioned something about, more diverse, more underrepresented people in SUNYSA, and I guess that's why our committee communications, I'm telling you, we'll be best friends this year, because communication, I feel like, is going to be a major key, because a lot of people don't know what SUNYSA is, even on our campus, one of the biggest things I struggled with as the SA president was getting students to understand what our students are. And if a campus doesn't even have a strong belief in their own actual student government, why would they even care about that? So student governments have to be a lot more prominent on their campus, and also we have to put more things out there, especially more funny things, because even one thing about underrepresented groups is it's a little bit intimidating, like this atmosphere is a little intimidating. I don't know if you guys real experienced student leaders, so we know this right. But to a lot of students, I'm really intimidated if I came in here to speak to y'all about my concerns, you know? And that was one of the big concerns, with, at least for our student government, before I was a president. A lot of students felt like they couldn't get in. And they felt intimidated. You see people in suits and nice outfits and dresses, but they're not going to get me out. And then I kind of made the presidency of student government a little bit more like a student government. You know, let people understand where it comes from, what we do. Even if I do it sweatsuit, to show them like I'm working to. Granted, I'm involved, but I still understand what you're going through. The regular voice of like an average college student. A lot of people lose touch with that when you get involved with projects. And I feel like as soon as I said, Johnson do the same thing and open up the lines of communication, just ease the energy. You know, let them know that because at the end of the day, this body is very powerful. And if we get the right people to be involved and get the student population behind us, we'll be even more powerful. And even the emails, you know, like I put my SUNYSA emails, just words, you know, and just letters, and it's all man. But if I got a video, if I got like a meme or something more friendly or something a little bit more, just more now, then it's like your underrepresented students want to say, okay, what are they doing? And also, our promotion, I feel like we should always just promote the SUNYSA. One of the things that I've learned about student government to let people understand is that other groups promote our student government. You know, like the popular, more in their face, like the Black Student Union, the First Latino Youth Fraternity Support, anybody who had that instant student connection, because at the end of the day, some people think student government, that's corny, I don't get involved with that, etc. And you need kind of that liaison with that person to say, oh, no, like, they're good people, like, we do our thing. And kind of foster that community to be organized and letting student groups and letting fraternity sororities do that promotion for us. And let them know that, okay, you can read this and also be a student and still be involved. So just easing the image. And the communication is going to be very big for DEI this year. Let's hope we get it going soon, because we definitely need the constant. I feel like my personal opinion, feel like diversity, equity, inclusion, and it's at its probably most points in history of the present time, especially with national elections, especially just everything that's going on in the country. Like, we have to work out right. We have to do right now, or we're going to miss that cycle. The next generation is going to come in and do the same thing.
So I don't want to cut off debate on any topic, this topic, of course. We are 15 minutes late for lunch, which is my fault for not calling 3 words of the day. I would entertain, and then we have a tour guide coming, so I would entertain a motion to recess until 12:45 for lunch, and then come back and certainly cut. Okay, until 1 o'clock for lunch. We will absolutely come back to this topic. We'll leave this up here, and then we can go into the next report, but I would entertain that motion at this time. Made by Representative Delgado, second by Representative T. Any opposition? Okay, we stand in recess until 1 o'clock. Sorry.
You do that.